Good morning, students. Today I will teach class 9th, chapter 2 Is Matter Around Us Pure? As in previous lecture I had discussed about the different type of solutions, true solutions, colloidal solutions and suspension. As already we had discussed about the elements, compounds, mixtures. So in today's lecture I will discuss about that separation of that mixtures into its components. So before starting that separation I will discuss about the physical and chemical changes. Firstly, the physical and chemical changes. I will discuss first physical change. The physical change is the process in which physical properties of a substance is changes, but there is no new substances are formed. This is called physical change. What does it mean? The physical properties like change in color, hardness, rigidity, fluidity, melting point, boiling point and density of that substance. During a physical change there is no change in no new substance is formed, but only change in the physical properties, that is called the physical change of the substance. On the other side, the chemical changes is a process by which new substances are formed and the chemical properties of that substance also get changed. In this the chemical properties are order, inflammability, etc. Here the new substance formed has different properties than the previous substance. So in chemical change there is a formation of new substance take place. So here is the difference between the physical and the chemical change. Firstly, the physical change, there is change in physical properties, but in the chemical change there is change in the chemical properties. Physical change, there is no change in chemical composition, but in chemical change there is a change in the chemical behavior or chemical properties or chemical composition. Physical change is a reversible process, but chemical change is irreversible process, which means it is permanent. During physical change no new substance is formed, but in chemical change new substance is formed. I will give you the examples in physical change. For example, there is a melting of ice. As the ice changes into water, so there is change in physical property because it changes from solid to liquid, so that's why it is a physical change. But on the other side, if we say about the chemical change, for example, H2 plus O2 gave H2O. So H2 plus O2 gave H2O, which means there is a formation of new product, it is water is formed. So there is also one more example in chemical change, that is rusting of iron. So in rusting of iron, it is called corrosion. So here is iron react with oxygen and then with water moisture it gives iron, that is ferric oxide, that is called rust, Fe2O3, that is called rust. So that's why there is change in complete chemical composition of iron by the attack of oxygen, water or moisture on the surface of iron. There is a formation of new substance, that is iron oxide take place. That the formation of iron oxide is rust. So that's why rusting of iron is chemical change, because a new substance is formed. So this is all about physical and chemical changes. Now I will started with my topic, that is separation of component of mixture. So separation of component of mixtures. Firstly, as we know, the mixture is the mixture contains one or more than two components which are joined together, is called mixture. So mixture contain more than two components. So mixture contain more than two components. So as a mixture contain more than two components, so separation of component of mixture means we have to separate the mixture into its components. There are different methods that can be used to separate these components into their parts. For homogeneous mixture the techniques are different. As I discussed you earlier, the homogeneous mixtures are the mixtures in which the composition or component component has uniform composition. There is no separate boundaries in homogeneous mixtures. So on the other hand, heterogeneous mixture, there is a separation boundary between the components. So in heterogeneous mixture, that can be separated by simple physical method, that is hand picking, sieving or filtration, etc. But for the homogeneous mixture, these are special technique that has to be used for the separation of the component of the mixture. So I will discuss one by one all the techniques here. I will discuss 4 techniques here, and the next 4 I will discuss in the next lecture. So first is obtaining colored component from blue black ink. So what is that? As we know, ink is a mixture of dye in water. So you have to kept in mind that ink, blue black ink is a mixture of dye in water. As we dissolve dye in water, we get a homogeneous mixture. So homogeneous mixture means that has no separation between the components. So in this from getting the components from the mixture, we have to apply the process of evaporation. As you learn in chapter 1 what is evaporation. So as you know, the water is evaporate from the surface. This is called evaporation. It is a bulk phenomena, as you know. So process of evaporation is used to obtain color component from blue black ink. So the process of evaporation is used to separate a substance which is dissolved in water. So that's why blue ink is formed from as dye is dissolved in water. Here we have to learn, we have to note that evaporation is the technique which is used to separate a substance which are dissolved in water. So there are so much substances which are dissolved in water, as sugar is dissolved in water, salt is dissolved in water. So that is the main point you have to learn. The process of evaporation is used to separate a substance which is dissolved in water. The substance which is dissolved in water are separated by the process of evaporation. So it is mainly based on the fact that liquid vaporize easily than the solid. As solid dissolved in water, the water vaporize easily. So liquid is left behind. So we can separate the two components. So it helps in separating volatile substance from non-volatile substance. What is volatile substance and what is non-volatile substance? So please note, volatile substances are those substances which can be evaporate, and non-volatile which cannot be evaporate. As in this case, the dye is non-volatile and the water is volatile which can evaporate. So here is a figure. You can see how we can separate by the process of evaporation. Please see the picture. Here there is a stand, that is a spirit lamp or the stand. On the stand we put the beaker containing water and a watch glass containing a dye, blue black dye. As the water start boiling, you can see, as the water start boiling, you can see there is a vapors from ink is seen here. Can you see the vapors from ink can seen here? Here the vapors can be evaporated, the water can evaporated from the ink and the dye is left behind on the watch glass. So we can separate the volatile component from its non-volatile solute. The non-volatile solute is ink and the volatile solute is solvent is water. So this is a technique for separating blue black ink into its components. The next is separation of cream from milk. This is the second method, that is separation of cream from milk. So this is the method which is used is called centrifugation. As you see, your mother is getting butter from cream by this method. As she is centrifugate the content in the mixture or mixture grinder, you can see the process of centrifugation. So centrifugation is a process used to separate the cream from milk. So mainly it is a method which is used to separate the suspended particles of substance from a liquid. But what does suspended particle means? As you know, the suspension. So suspended particle which are suspended in the liquid. So as the suspension, the particle size are easily visible. So separating the suspended particle of substance from liquid. So this process is done by a machine, centrifugation machine. So and the process is called centrifuge. So in suspended particles, as you see, the salt is the sand is dissolved in water. You can simply separate the sand from water by the process of filtration. As the particles are easily visible, you can separate the sand from water by the process of filtration. Similarly, chalk powder from water can be separated by the process of filtration. But the cream from milk, this is a technique which is used to separate cream from milk, can be separate from the technique that is called centrifugation. In this method, the mixture is rotated rapidly so that the heavier particle in the mixture settle down at the bottom. As it is based on the principle that the denser particle or the heavier particle are forced to the bottom and the liquid being lighter remain at the top. What does it means? As we rotate the centrifuging machine, with the rotation of this, the particles which are heavier in weight or denser are settled at the bottom, but the particles which are not denser, which are lighter in weight, are suspended in the liquid or the water molecule. So lighter particles remain at the top. So here is the steps for separating cream from milk. Take some full cream milk in the test tube, centrifuge it by using a centrifuge machine, as your mother do in the mixer grinder. So this is the process in which the particles settle down, heavier particles settle down at the bottom, and the particle suspended in the lighter particles suspended in the liquid. You can separate simply by throwing the liquid and getting the heavier particle which is settled at the bottom. There are the number of applications of centrifugation. This is used in day-to-day life in the laboratory purpose. This is used in diagnostic laboratories for blood and urine test. It is used in dairies and home to separate butter from cream. It is also used in washing machine, as you see the squeeze out water from wet clothes. As in your washing machine, it is used in the dryer. So it is done by centrifugation machine. As you see your washing machine's dryer, it is continuously rotating with very high speed. So in this process, the water is squeezed out from the wet clothes. So the next is separation of two immiscible liquids. So what does it mean, the two immiscible liquids? So immiscible means the liquids which are not dissolved in each other, which means a separation layer is found between the two liquids. So the separation of separating two immiscible liquid is carried out by use of funnel. So that funnel is called the separating funnel. So here is, I have not a diagram about the separating funnel. You can see the diagram in your book on page number 20, figure 2.6. It is easy for you to see and understand what I am saying. So separating two immiscible liquids means the separation of separating two immiscible liquid is carried out by the use of funnels. So mainly this basic principle depend upon the difference in the densities of two liquids from two separate layers. What does it mean? When we want to separate the kerosene oil and water, pour the mixture of kerosene oil and water in separating funnel. Let it stand undisturbed for some time so that separate layer or oil and water are formed. As you see the diagram, please see the diagram to figure 2.6 on page number 20. Please see the diagram, it is clear to you. Okay, as the density of water is higher than kerosene oil, the water is placed down and the kerosene oil is standing up on the separating layer. So as you see the separating layer between kerosene oil and water. So the water can be poured out. The lower layer of water can be poured out by open the stopcock of separating funnel. As you see the stopcock in your book on page number 20. So close the stopcock of this separating funnel as the oil reaches the stopcock. In this way you can separate the kerosene oil from the water. So this is the method which is used to separate the two immiscible liquid. Immiscible liquids, I have already told you that the immiscible liquids are those which cannot be mixed together or dissolve in each other. This method has various applications. So it is used to separate the mixture of oil and water. So in the extraction of iron from its ore, the lighter slag is removed from the top by this method. So leave the molten iron at the bottom of the furnace. So this is the third method, that is separation by separating funnel. So next is sublimation. So firstly, the sublimation is the process by which a substance directly converted into solid to gas without involving the liquid state. So this is the method which is used to separate the mixture of sublimable volatile component from non-sublimable impurity, which means one component should be sublimable or the other component should be non-sublimable. So sublimation is a process in which substance directly changes from solid to gas state on heating. And there are a number of sublimable substances, that is ammonium chloride, camphor, naphthalene, anthracene are the example which can sublime. As you see in the diagram, here the inverted funnel is placed on the burner. Here is the china dish. The inverted funnel is placed on the china dish and china dish is placed on the burner. In the china dish there is a mixture of ammonium chloride and salt. The mouth of the china dish is covered with the cotton plug. As we start heating the mixture, the vapors of ammonium chloride, it is solidified ammonium chloride, is deposited on the surface of the inverted funnel, as you see in the diagram. On the surface of the inverted funnel, as you see in the diagram. So here the salt is left on the plate of china dish, on the surface of the china dish, and the solidified ammonium chloride is on the walls of the inverted funnel. So here is the process of sublimation. So this process is used for separating the mixture of naphthalene from the salt, anthracene from the salt, ammonium chloride from the salt. So you have to keep in mind, this is a method which is used to separate a sublimate substance from the non-sublimate substance. So here I had completed about the 4 methods of separation, that is number 1 evaporation, number 2 centrifugation, number 3 separation by separating funnel, and number 4 is sublimation. So I will attach the PDF file along with this video. You can try to find the answer of that questions. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Thank you.